Imagine being disabled, sitting quietly on a train, minding your own business only to have complete strangers loudly shame you for not standing up. That's what happened to my wife, and they had no idea that her silence wasn't weakness. It was fuel, because when she finally spoke, she shut them down so hard, the entire subway car went dead quiet. If you've ever wished you could clap back at rude, entitled people, then smash that like button, subscribe, and get ready, because this is justice in motion. It happened in Paris during what should have been a routine subway ride. My wife and I travel often by metro. It's practical, fast, and usually uneventful. Now, if you've ever been on French subways, you know they have folding seats along the sides. There's this unspoken rule. When the train gets crowded, you stand up to make more space. Simple enough, unless standing isn't an option. My wife is 32. She's strong, witty, and tougher than most people I know. But she also lives with a disability. Chronic pain, the kind that makes standing still for even a few minutes feel like knives twisting in her joints. For her, those folding seats aren't convenience. They're survival. That evening, we had a 20-minute ride ahead of us. She found one of those seats, sat down, and breathed a little easier. I could already see the relief on her face. But 2 minutes later, the subway filled. Bodies pressed closer. People shuffled, and slowly, everyone sitting on those folding chairs stood up. Everyone except her. And that's when they showed up. Two older people, maybe mid-60s, stern faces, bitter energy. The type who look for something, or someone, to complain about. They planted themselves right next to her and started grumbling. Loud enough for everyone to hear. Some people don't care about making room. So selfish, sitting down when the train's full. Oh, it wasn't subtle. Their words dripped with judgment. And though they never said her name, every syllable was aimed like a dagger at my wife. Now, usually she doesn't respond. She's the kind of person who lets nastiness roll off her back. But this time, something shifted. Her eyes narrowed. Her lips pressed tight. I could feel the air change around her. Then she did something I'll never forget. She calmly opened her bag, pulled out her CMI, the official disability card in France, and held it right in front of their faces. Her message was clear. I'm not standing because I can't. You'd think at this point they'd apologize, maybe feel embarrassed, maybe even show a shred of humanity. But no. They glanced at the card, then looked away, pretended like they couldn't see it, pretended like they hadn't been caught being cruel. And my wife? Oh, she wasn't letting them slither out that easy. She said firmly, "You owe me an apology." One of them scoffed, rolled their eyes, and snapped back. Well, how are we supposed to know? It's not written on your face. That was it. The spark. The match to gasoline. Her voice rose, not screaming. Not shrill, but sharp. Precise. Cutting like a blade. No, it's not written on my face. Because 80% of disabilities are invisible. And that's exactly why your words are so cruel. Do you know what it's like? To have to pull out a card just to prove I'm not lying? Just to defend myself against strangers who can't mind their own business? And still, no apology? The subway car went silent. Every head turned. Eyes widened. People who moments ago were scrolling their phones were now locked in on this scene. She didn't stop. It's bad enough I live with pain every single day. But people like you make it worse. You add humiliation on top of suffering. And then you justify it by saying you didn't. No. Well, guess what? Now you do. The couple froze. Their confidence cracked. Suddenly all that arrogance melted into awkwardness. They glanced at each other, then at the floor. Their bodies shrank, like children being scolded in front of the class. And then, slowly, wordlessly, they shuffled away, trying to disappear into the crowd, faces burning red, desperate to avoid the dozens of eyes now fixed on them. Nobody clapped. Nobody cheered. But the silence itself was loud, heavy. Everyone had heard. Everyone had seen. And the message was clear. My wife had won. They got off a few stops later. Quiet, defeated, like villains retreating after being unmasked. And my wife? She stayed seated. Head high. Calm. Her pain hadn't disappeared, but for once, it wasn't the thing that defined her. Her strength did. When we finally left the train, I leaned close and whispered, "I'm proud of you." Because in that small, crowded subway car, she didn't just stand up for herself, she stood up for every person who's ever been judged for something invisible. The look on their faces, the way their smugness dissolved into shame, was worth every second of tension. That's the beauty of moments like these. Justice doesn't always need a courtroom. Sometimes it happens right there, in public, where everyone can see. And it proves one thing: silence might be patience, but when it breaks, it can be power. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell me in the comments. Have you ever witnessed someone clap back at rudeness in public? Don't forget to subscribe, because I've got plenty more stories of sweet revenge coming your way.